So let's do the last part of theory today. So last part. So now let me tell you one thing. Okay, we'll start with uniform circular motion. Before that, let me tell you what is rotation and circular motion difference. Now if there is a point like this, and if a body, a point mass, this is a point mass, this is a point mass, this thing, okay, and it is rotating around this one center. If a point mass rotates around the center, that kind of motion is nothing but circular motion. Understand? That is nothing but circular motion. But now if I say here is one center and a body, a rigid body is rotating around this, then such a motion is called the rotational motion that we have discussed in details earlier. Not going to discuss this a lot. Rotational, one second, let me rewrite this. Rotational motion. Okay, for a rigid body it's always rotational motion, but for all a point mass it is always a circular motion. So now before starting with the uniform circular acceleration, we should talk about the angular terms. That is, you will not find in the Selena, but without this uniform circular motion is incomplete. Okay, so now let's say the first angular term is omega, or this is called the angular velocity. This is the angular velocity, and this is given by theta by t, where theta is nothing but the degrees and this t is nothing but the time. What does this mean? It means that if a body, let me try to do it well. If a body is traveling, let's say, theta angle in t seconds, then we can say the angular velocity is nothing but theta by t. And what is the SI unit of this? Always degree. The SI unit is radian per second. Okay, radian, you'll say what is radian? Radian is a type of different unit, and like 1 degree, what we use actually, the main logic is that 180 degree is equal to pi radians. This is the logic. Okay, if you ever want to convert, okay, radian per second is the unit of this angular moment, the angular, what did I say, angular velocity. Okay, now what is angular acceleration? You would say angular acceleration is written by alpha. It is nothing but angular velocity by t. What is angular velocity by t? Now it will be theta by t squared. So what should be the unit of this? It should be actually radian per second squared. Okay, so this is angular acceleration. Just two terms I taught you now. Okay, now we are starting with the topic. So if you see a circle, let me redraw this. Circle. Okay, this is what we are talking about. We are talking about uniform circular, rewrite this, circular motion. What is uniform circular motion? If a particle, obviously if it is going through a circular motion, then it should be a point mass, okay, around the center of the circle. Now if a particle is moving with a constant velocity, if it is exhibiting a circular motion with constant velocity, no, what am I saying? If it is maintaining a motion with a constant speed, v speed, because you can see the direction is changing at every point, so the velocity is not constant. So in this case we know what speed, let's say what is speed, the velocity and acceleration. We'll talk about these three terms. Okay, let's change the color a bit. Okay, let's see. Okay, you can see it now. Speed remains same. Speed remains same in the case of uniform circular motion. Now here you can see, one second, same. Now here the direction is changing every time. As you can see, the direction changed of the velocity, so velocity changes. Now if velocity changes, you can also say this, acceleration changes. If you have read motion in class 9, well, you will understand this. I'm not going to explain this. Let me explain. If velocity changes, what does it mean? Final velocity is v, this is final, and initial is, let's say, v0. So what is the acceleration? V minus v0 by t. Now to acceleration to be 0, if acceleration is 0, that means v equal to v0. This implies this. Now you know, if I say velocity changes, that means v is never equal to v0. So this case is not applicable. So acceleration can never be 0. So it is, I say, not constant also, because why I'm telling you, it's like, then you would say it would be constant, but why is it not constant? That we'll get to know later, because there's one formula, you will understand. This one, it's beyond your scope. Why it can tell you it changes, but remember, it changes. Just remember this. Okay, now direction of velocity at any point is different. Obviously, I told you that. So direction is always direct. If I say at this point, what is the direction of the velocity? You just draw tangent, that is the velocity at that point. Okay, now what is the difference between uniform circular motion and uniform linear motion? In uniform linear motion, you can say the speed is 0. No, why am I saying speed 0? Speed is constant, and velocity is also constant, and acceleration is 0. But in this case, see what it is? Same, changes, means constant, changes, but here constant, 0. So it's different. Okay, now if you, so we can also say that this motion is accelerated. Sorry, I did a wrong thing. Please make this a change. Please make a change. It does not change. It is always a constant, because if it changes, that's a different topic. Okay, uniform circular motion, acceleration is constant. In non-uniform circular motion, it is changing. That is not in the syllabus. I'm not going to tell you about that. Now you can see the difference. So we can see uniform linear motion, both are uniform. Okay, linear and circular, let's say uniform, both are uniform. Okay, in this case, acceleration is 0. Acceleration is some value k, which we are going to learn later, and this velocity is constant. And here velocity changes. Why does it change? Because it changes its direction. Okay, now we'll talk about the two forces that act here: centripetal force, centrifugal force. Now let's try to understand this in very good concept. This part is very hard, not very hard, I will make it easy for you, but very conceptual. Okay, so as I was telling, we will continue with the forces. Okay, so before starting with the centripetal and the centrifugal forces, let me tell you something. If a body, this is out of syllabus by the way, I'm telling you just as a fact, you can know it yourself, because it is going to be needed in the centripetal and centrifugal force. Whenever a body moves with an acceleration a, means some force F is acting with whose value is ma. You know this. Now by a concept we get to know that if there is a force acting on a body, means a body is going under accelerated motion, always there is some force acting in the backward direction. This force F dash is same in magnitude, and this force is known as the, change the color, pseudo force. So this is a pseudo force. Pseudo force is a just opposite directional force that arises due to this is a superficial force, okay, which arises due to the movement of bodies while accelerating. So let's say if a body is moving with acceleration 5 meter per second, there will always be a pseudo force acting in the F equal to ma in this direction. Understand? This is the concept. So now let's start with centripetal and centrifugal force. So if there's a circle, we redraw this. If there's a circle like this, and let's say this is the body moving, okay. So whenever a body is moving like this, let me do it as a different color, yeah. So when the body is moving, obviously we know the velocity is this. So this body experiences a force in this direction, this force is nothing but the centripetal force, okay. Now we did centripetal force. Now what is the value of the centripetal force? You just know it, mv squared by r. Now if you say what is acceleration, we know acceleration is nothing but f by m, so it is nothing but v squared by r. You know what is v and r. R is the actually nothing but the radius here, and v is the velocity of the body, okay. The speed also you can say, no problem. And now the direction of this force is always radially inwards, okay. Let me write this, radially inwards. Remember this, radially inwards, centripetal force, magnitude is mv square by r, acceleration is f by m, so v square by r. Understand? So for example, like a planet moves around the sun in a circular path. So whenever there is the gravitational force of attraction, the centripetal force balances this. Understand? Like if a body is moving like this, no, that's a wrong reason. I told you a wrong reason. In Selena there is a wrong reason given here. Sorry man, sorry. So when a stone is tied to the end of the string, okay, stone is tied to the end of the string, and like this, string is the stone, you rotate it, okay, you rotate it. So this, whatever the force, the tension we feel here, this tension is nothing but the mv square by r. Understand? The tension actually provides the centripetal force. If this force would not have an exist, so there would be no acceleration. Acceleration would be zero, and such a motion would not be possible. Understand? Okay, now centrifugal force, as I told you earlier, is actually nothing but the pseudo force of centripetal force. Centrifugal force is the pseudo force of the centripetal force. It is already written in this book, the force assumed assumed to be acting on the body in a direction away. We am going to talk about the direction later. The force assumed, it is an assumed force, that's why it's a pseudo force. So if a body is going like this, okay, so if let me go with this color. If this is the force, the what do you call it, the force of, that's a centripetal force, so there the centrifugal force will act outwards. Okay, obviously the magnitude is same also, no problem. Okay, it is not a real force, it is not the centrifugal force, is also not the force of reaction of a centripetal force. As I told, it's a pseudo force. Okay, now otherwise every time, like if this force would always what do you call it, the force would attract the ball inside and the ball slowly would come closer to the center, so this balances this out. Okay, so it always remains in that circular path. Now if we see, if this is the ball that is going in a circle, now if this string breaks, where do you think it will go? Will it go like this, will it go like this, or will it go out tangentially? 1 2 3, 1 2 3, which is right? Actually it will go tangentially. How? You have to do a experiment to see. Okay, you'll see. Let me show you the experiment, then it will be better. So let's see the experiment. What the experiment tells us, let's say there is a ball here moving in a circle. Now you break the ball, you will always see, if you go and see in it a slow motion, you will see it moves out tangentially with a velocity v. Okay, this is what the, what do you call it, I forgot the thing. This is what you call the tangential exit of a circulating body in a uniform circular motion. Okay, this is the experiment. I will try to show you the experiment. Now let me see if I can find any videos show you the experiment. So last time I told you that I'm going to show you some videos. Okay, so these videos will tell you that actually truly a body, when in circular motion, when the string breaks or it moves out of circular motion, it always goes tangentially. Let's see for this example. I think this is not working well. Let's see this example. Actually it was better.
This is a great demonstration for showing that if something's moving in a circle and you remove the centripetal force, it'll move in a straight line. This is a great demonstration for showing that if something's moving.
So here, if you see, I'm pausing this whole firecracker is moving, and if you see, let's say, where's my brush tool? Yes, if you see here that in this position, if this is, let me complete the circle, like this should be the circle it is going in. Now as you can see, some sparkles are coming out, they are actually the particles. Okay, so as you can see, these all are particles are tangential. Can you see this? All particles are tangential to the surface. So we can say if one small point mass gets out of the circular motion, as you can see, all are in tangential. So this firecracker experiment is the best experiment I can show you for now. Now let's actually do some sums. Okay, so go to the Selena page number 18. Now go to multiple choice question. The first question is, which of the following quantity remains constant in the uniform circular motion? We have learned it. The constant is speed. Speed is key, and speed is always constant. Remember this. Now the second question says that which of the the centrifugal force is a what type of force? It's a fictitious force. Fictitious is nothing but another word for pseudo. Okay, this play of English. Now here it is given, go to question number 14. State two differences between centripetal and centrifugal forces. So centripetal, I'm writing petal here just, okay, I'm not writing the whole thing, and fugal, you'll understand it. Fugal force, this is not a real force, this is a pseudo. Don't write pseudo in your exam, just write fictitious. And petal force is nothing but a real force. Okay, now this is one very easy example, and this acts radially. One second, let me change the color. It acts radially inwards and this acts radial outwards. These two differences are, I think, are enough. There are not so much question. I am making a question on my own. Let's say a body is there going through circular motion. Again, obviously a body is going. Now it has a velocity. Let me change the color. It has a velocity of, let's say, 2 meter per second. Okay, and the mass of the body is, the radius of the circle is 3 meters, and the mass of the body is, let's say, 2 meter again. So now why I'm writing meter, 2 kgs. Now you have to tell me the total centripetal force acting on the body, the centripetal acceleration acting on the body. Now let's actually solve this. Acceleration, we know it's nothing but mv square by r. Now what is m? 2. R, v is 2 into 2 by r is 3, so answer will be nothing. Oh, sorry, it's not mv square by r. Erase it. It is not mv square by r, it's just v square by r, and the answer will nothing be but 4 by 3. Sorry. And we know what f is equal to ma, so m is 2 into 4 by 3, that is nothing but 8 by 3 Newton meter per second square. Okay, so these are some sums we did today. Not a huge, like, sums will come from this, mainly theoretical questions we are going to come. So see you next time and do well. And let me tell you, with this we end the chapter. So yeah, we end this chapter for now. I think we'll like pause, we'll do now the problems. Now there will be one video, next video, that will contain 20 questions, 10 normal question and 10 board questions. Okay, then bye.